Hey everybody, so we're working on the chassis today, getting all those holes plugged up that I'm not going to use, and this is where the old tube was that I moved. And you'll see here that I've got some metal here. Let me show you what I did there, and then we'll go forward from there. Let me flip this thing around. So I went to Home Depot looking for a piece of aluminum or steel that I could cut and use as a fill-in, and I found these construction ties. Alright, so what they do is they put these on 2x4s to hold them together. And found out that these would be perfect for me because they've got holes in them, and I can probably use the holes if I need to attach anything. Plus I get some ventilation through here. If there's any heat built out, it's going to come out through these holes. So I simply just have them bolted into the chassis right here and right here. So I've got that in place. And then I've got the two standoffs installed, which are going to be for the board that gets mounted right here. I've got that there in place, right? And the board gets mounted right here. And if you look and see what my plan is, I've got all my sockets right around where this board's going to be. So just pulling back on the shot, that's kind of what it's going to look like right there. Okay. So next step for me is to get this this circuit board here, right here, and I'm going to clean all these wires up. I'm probably going to replace a few of them because I don't like the length of these. I had to cut them before, so I'll replace some of them, and then we're going to start to mount this in here, just like this, right, and get this all connected. Alright, I'll be back. So here's a little trick I'm going to share with you on the volume and the tone knobs. So you see we've got two volume knobs and a tone knob. And you see that there's some resistors here, capacitors I should say, that have to get installed. So instead of doing it in the chassis where it's kind of hard to work on, I just basically took a cardboard box, measured the holes on the chassis right there, measured out where they're going to be, and I've got all my connections on top, and I'll make all my connections here, and then I'll just pull it out of the cardboard and transfer it into the chassis and screw it in. So that's what I'm going to start working on now, and when I come back I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, as you can see I have my pots wired with the exception of the connections that go to the board. So here's my volume, my tone, and my mic volume. And you'll see I've got the top and bottom marked, and over here I have a 0.005 capacitor, and over here I have a 0.005 which goes to ground. And you'll see from this leg I have a ground wire that runs here, connects to this cap, comes up here to this terminal, and then I've got this wire which will connect to a ground in the chassis. Okay? The only thing that's not connected are the wires that come up from here, from the board. Here's one that comes around and goes right here, and there's one that comes here. So now that's one complete unit I can pick up and just pop in the chassis. More to come. Okay, here's a quick update where we are. All of my filament windings have been attached neatly, okay, twisted so I don't have hum and interference. I've got the bulb connected again with the 100 ohm resistors acting as a center tap. Flipping this thing around, you'll see that first of all I've got the board installed here, and nothing's connected to it obviously, so I'm going to have to do all those connections. I just have it placed. Let me flip this around, but before I do that, let me show you what the faceplate looks like. So I have the faceplate mounted, and I have the jacks installed, and I have the knobs installed. Okay, everything's there. I haven't taken off the protective plastic yet. Let me flip this around. So what you'll see here, there's my volume pots, I should say my pots, right? So my volume and my tone, which I did in the cardboard box, so they all fit in there perfectly. And then I did the same thing with the input jacks. So these two red wires go to instrument 1 and instrument 2, and then that last one is for a microphone. Okay? I don't have these connected to anything yet. So next step is going to be to start wiring this piece by piece. I think my plan is going to be to do these far sockets first and then work my way backwards this way. Okay? And then lastly what I'll do is connect the volume and the input jacks. And then what I haven't mounted on the back here yet is the output where the speaker gets plugged in. I haven't done anything with these yet. I have a piece of sheet metal which I think I'm going to cover these holes with, and maybe use one of these holes from these actually two outputs. There's two outputs on this amp. If you look here on the drawing, you'll see there's two speaker jacks. Okay, so I'm going to probably use these two holes. I also have to mount my output transformer somewhere on the top, run those wires through the chassis and connect them here. So that's where we are. Next video will be about when I'm wiring this. I'll get through some of the wiring and then I'll come and give you an update. That's it. This is Ron. Thanks.